The BC Lions host the Toronto Argonauts at BC Place Friday night. The Argos are in a heated three-way tie for first place in the miserable East Division. The BC Lions, interestingly enough, are just a game back of second place in the West. My head is spinning, and so joining me from his home in North Vancouver is Lowell Ullrich to try to slow down my spinning head. LU, talk to me. This is actually a game of significance, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's a game of significance for the simple reason that every time a West team plays an East team this year, the West team has to hold serve if they've got to have any kind of chance to get in the playoffs. I mean, I know that these teams, the records look dreadful, but you know what, Jonathan? It's going to get closer, and these games, they matter now, and I guarantee you there's a real good chance that the Lions and Argonauts play in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, LU, a week ago, people were pretty distressed, of course, about the sudden, fresh new injury to Travis Lulay. But the Lions can win games, it seems, even without quarterbacking. Their defense has been marvelous. It was Ottawa 2 weeks ago, didn't score a touchdown. And, of course, they held the Bombers last week. Their leader, Solomon Elimimian, is having a season for the ages. Tell me about him.
Well, I mean, he's the exact opposite of who he is on the field. He is on the field. He's a ferocious tackler, a guy that doesn't seem to give up on any play. Will run you down no matter where you are in the field. And off the field, soft-spoken, quiet, doesn't say much. I guess that's often a trait that you see with a lot of pro athletes, or sometimes the opposite of who they are at work. But Solly is, as you say, 88 tackles. 33 tackles, I believe it is, ahead of any other tackler on the board. That's the largest discrepancy in league history right now of any lead in that sort of category. He's having a great year.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. And I know there is talk about him being a contender for the most outstanding player in the CFL. LU, who else on the roster, now that it's Kevin Glenn's team, who else on the roster has sort of got you standing up and noticing?
Well, I think that on this team, Jonathan, anytime the Lions have success, it's going to be threaded through two players. One is Kevin Glenn, obviously, and the other one, secondly, is Andrew Harris. If the Lions do not get Andrew Harris established in this game against Toronto on Friday night, they are in trouble because their passing game isn't getting it done. I mean, Kevin Glenn is statistically a good passer, but I mean, when you're completing passes for 6, 7, 8 yards, you've got to chunk along. And the offense isn't a big play offense. That's the game right now. Andrew Harris is the guy that makes things go for BC. He has been that way and will continue to be. He got going thanks to improved line play against Winnipeg last week. He'll be a key again on Friday.
LU, finally, I want to chat quickly about the Argos. Now, at 3-8, they appear to be a bad team, as does every other team in the East. But they do have sort of one unique situation. Their very veteran quarterback, Ricky Ray, is one of the few starting quarterbacks in the CFL still standing, a guy who hasn't gone down to injury. Does Ray, who has won Grey Cups, does he have the tools to succeed in Toronto despite their record?
Well, he hasn't all year, and the Argos have really been bitten back by the injury bug, particularly among his receivers. Last week, he got Andre Dury back, an Andrew Harris-type player who can catch passes out of the backfield, and he started to make a difference. But Ricky Ray can win games on his own. It's that simple. The Lions have to sort of affect his throws, have to sort of get at his face to at least make it somewhat difficult for him. If he's allowed to run around, and he can run a little bit, he is a threat and has to be accounted for. Ray is the key, always is, always will be with Toronto.
Well, this certainly isn't obviously a gimme game for the Lions on Friday night, and they obviously need to win if they hope to sort of keep pace with the second and third place teams in the West. LU, thanks for joining me, and folks, of course, Friday, the full pregame blitz package in the pages of Province Sports at provincesports.com and on our website at 1 p.m. on Friday. Join LU for his weekly pregame live chat. You can ask him anything you want about the Lions and the Argos. Thanks, LU.
You bet.